Street Gems Network.
Yo, what's goody? This your boy EJ, aka Sir Evangeline Joseph, aka Mr. 10 Feet, aka the shiny one, the kid that did.
And that's your boy Willmatic Beats. Today we got a special guest in the building. We got Rhea 706.
The Sunflower. Yeah, but before we get into this interview, we have a small ad that we got to get to.
Alright, today's podcast sponsored by Where It Comes From. From now until October 30th, Where It Comes From and the Ronald McDonald House charities are having the 2020 Where It Comes From sock donation. Throughout the country, there are 38.1 million people facing various socioeconomic disadvantages on a daily basis. Fortunately, there are numerous organizations dedicated to fighting this issue. The less fortunate are often given items of support. However, there is a shortage of socks. Many do not receive new socks from most donations. The team at Where It Comes From decided to do their part in meeting this need here in Columbus, Georgia. We have situated numerous donation locations throughout the city. On our website, you may also purchase from our 2020 Sock Drive donation collection of customized socks. Proceeds from each sock purchase will and any other financial donation will be provided to the Ronald McDonald House of the Chattahoochee Valley nonprofit organization. WhereItComesFrom.com. Remember, your path, your dream, your vision. That's where it comes from.
Hey, shout out to Jalen, shout out to Tyler Intellect, shout out to Mimi, Where It Comes From. Oh yeah. What's poppin', Rhea?
What's poppin'?
How you been?
I've been good. I cannot complain at all.
Man.
How y'all been?
Bless.
To say the least.
Bless. To say the least.
I don't how them folks be like, if I was doing any better, I couldn't stand myself.
Hey, I like that.
Hey, for real, man. Congratulations on the new single.
Thank you.
Flames.
Thank you very
Flames.
much.
How was it? How was it like coming about it?
I think like earlier this year I was I've been playing around with a lot of stuff, production wise, just kind of in my zone.
So you producing now?
You produced that track?
Ben. Co-producing.
Co-producing.
With a young man by the name of Jonathan Ellie.
Okay.
Crazy. He's nuts.
He's nuts.
He's got a single out called Fire too.
Okay.
Make sure y'all go get that.
Stream that as well.
What's his name again?
Well.
Jonathan Ellie.
One more time.
Jonathan Ellie.
One more time.
That's Elely. Yeah.
Go stream, pull up.
Eley. My bad, Jonathan. I was like, wait a minute, that didn't make sense. Okay. Yeah.
You have a very distinct sound. You make soul music in a time where it's not really that prevalent in the R&B genre anymore. Mm-hmm. What motivates you to continue to push that sound forward, and do you feel like a pressure to push that sound back to the mainstream?
I don't know if I'll say pressure. However, I do feel it's needed, and I feel a responsibility.
Right.
Versus a pressure. It's a responsibility to myself first, and my roots and what I was brought up on, and a responsibility to myself first and foremost, because that's being true to me creating that way, and that sound that I have, that's definitely true to me.
As far as you saying, like, your roots and stuff, what was you brought up on?
Jazz. My mom had a lot of Miles Davis albums, neo soul and funk, actually, like Lakeside, Convulsion, just a lot of oldies, a lot of Motown. So just like a mixture of those sounds, and just real singing.
Right.
Real singing and gospel. Grew up singing in the church,
How old?
So, 5,
You've been singing since you was 5?
Yeah.
Like that's when were you singing before then? Like would your mom say that you were singing before then?
Yeah.
Or was you like that's when you like noticed like, hey, I can really sing?
Yeah, my mom actually told me that I used to be singing and stuff to myself, like when I was like small, like in the crib and stuff like that. And then I started singing at 5 at church and stuff, but I didn't really realize I could sing until I was like 11.
What do you remember the setting?
Yeah, my church, my home church up in Atlanta, Elizabeth Baptist Church, the children's choir recorded a live album.
Oh, that's hard.
Bro,
Yeah.
What that album,
Yeah.
man? We need that.
I mean, you could
Absolutely.
probably find it. I've been trying to track it down. I said I need to go back up there and see if they just have any still, because I feel like they would, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a live
You
album.
go in there and be like, baby, this is what we're recording.
The choir was called, all the choirs like had names or whatever. So the children's choir was called God's Chosen Heritage. And so we did put and my director was like, I want you to sing this song. And it was called What Can I Give? And I really enjoyed singing it. But I remember a distinctive moment. It's a time where the song modulates. And when
For the listeners out there, what does that mean?
so that means the song goes up in key, usually a half step.
Free jam.
And the crowd the congregation I mean, I was like, ooh,
In other words, lost their shit.
yo! They turned up, and you can hear it happen on the album, you know, because it's live,
It's live, right?
And it was just like, ooh, I could get used to this. So after that, it was full speed ahead. I was leading songs, you know,
At 11.
ready.
At 11.
Yeah.
So, I know you said that, you know, that was back when you was in Atlanta. So but your name is Rhea 706.
Right.
So where is Rhea originally from?
Rhea is originally from Columbus, Georgia. My whole family's here. We can trace our lineage back to Casita. There's actually both sides of my family or whatever. There's one side of my family, the Kellys. My mom is and cousin actually found the area of where the plantation was.
That's hard.
Where my family was freed. They were owned by a Irish family, the O'Kellys. And so once my family members were freed, they dropped the O. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my surname on one side, and then McCrae. We have like full-blood Native American, but of course we don't have as many records on that. More of just pictures and whatnot. My grandfather, same full-blooded. Like I don't know if you ever met my granddad, E, but you can tell, like from the bone structure to the hair, it's crazy. So yeah, but originally here. Back and forth between here and Atlanta when I was younger.
What part of Atlanta?
The West Side.
The West Side?
Yeah, West Side, and we lived in Smyrna for a little bit too. But the West is where I spend most of my time.
With your lineage, you seem to be well connected, well versed in that. Have you always been that tapped into that? Like, have you always been into that?
Yeah, my mom was I would call her a history buff. Like, she really is into history in general, especially ours, but history in general in a way that I was always interested in the past.
That's where you get your influence from.
Yes.
Like where you because you went to college, right? And you even majored in history. So that's where you caught that love from?
Exactly. Like, my mom was definitely the inspiration. Not necessarily behind me majoring in that, but definitely, and I guess so indirectly, because she was the one who really planted that seed in me. Because I was a music major at first.
Right. So what made you change from that? Since music is what you continue to do now.
Right. I didn't like it. I didn't. shout out to Schwob, School of Music. But I did not that I didn't like the school.
Alright.
And of course you can take or leave things about anything, you know, any school or whatever. But it wasn't about the school. It was more so about me not feeling. I felt caged and confined to classical music.
Right.
And I also, and there was no outlet for me in the school, like to like, you know, kind of be a little more creative, a little more free. Everything was just so rigid. And I wasn't enjoying myself. I also was very bad at theory. Very bad. And theory is just like the notes, chords, and how they appear on sheet music, but just the depth of it, you know, like spelling out chords and knowing your different keys and just what you can do in those keys, counterpoint. I mean, theory is so broad. I was not good at it. There were things about it that I enjoyed doing. I'm glad I can read music. You know, if you put a piece of sheet music in front of me, I can read it. But so that's a skill I'm glad. But I just, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. And I think my unhappiness reflected in my grades.
Would you say that it reflected in your music? Like what was that time like when you was unhappy? Were you making music or?
I wasn't making music at all then. I had met Joey from Create. I had met him, and we just, you know, we knew each other in passing. I think I had seen him a couple times for church stuff, because he played at an AME church at that time, and I was worshiping at one. So I saw him in passing that way. I didn't start really making music until a couple years after, you know. So I wasn't even a music major anymore.
Was when you said you spoke about Create. So how did that come about? Literally,
Joey hit me up and was like, "Hey, you want to come to this rehearsal?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I went. This was when we were rehearsing at Wayne's church, and it was like kismet, you know. They played something I knew, and it was just like we gelled instantly. Instantly. And they were like, "We found our singer." Yeah. And knowing them now, like, I know they know so many singers. And out of those so many singers, there are singers that are really good.
Yeah.
And, you know, and
they're not real.
Right. Well,
pop your shit, Rick.
She popped it one good time.
Pop your shit, Rick.
But just, I would say they're not me in the way that they were not the puzzle piece to fit that dynamic.
Yeah, still pop it, champ. Pop it, champ.
Know? And that was, it was a perfect formula.
So where does Create go from here? Is Create a music label, or is it just we get together and we sing these songs at different venues? Or what exactly is Create?
We are a band.
Okay.
A music group, I would say, because we've created some really great things together.
Right.
The Joey and Chris, they have a production team, the Bros. And I'm definitely looking, you know, forward for them to pop back out here and doing some stuff. Joey is a producer, bassist. He's got his own thing going, and we all have, like, you know, our small little pockets within each other of different types of creativity. You know, it honestly has the potential to be a label, you know what I'm saying, or some type of you know, I don't just want to throw random words out there, but just we have the potential, I feel like, to be an even bigger music group, you know, than we are. But the band is like the nucleus. I think that's what kind of brought us together.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Take us through the process of R. Like, what was? Cause that was your first. That was like your first baby.
Yeah.
Like your first project, like to be put out on streaming platforms and all that. Like, what was that like?
That was cool. I remember. It's crazy because time feels like it just runs together, and it's hard to recall some things. My mind is also bad, but I remember art. It feels like it just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Jay was inviting me to the studio with him, and I was just going making stuff, with him, and I can't remember what I think Y came first. I hit E up and I was like, and some stuff I've been kind of tinkering with, on my own time, on my computer or whatever, production wise. And we have the same, we both use Logic, so I was like, can I just bounce this over to you and then you put a little seasoning on it.
So you was already producing.
Yeah, I started
then.
producing in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, now I'm not saying I was Mike Will or nothing, but that's when I started to, do that. I took a music tech class. My band director taught it. He was crazy. Like, he was nuts. It's so much so that I would just be like, so why don't you do this?
What was his answer?
He was like, yeah, I just do it like fine. And he dabbles, when he wants to. He's playing French horn on Maybach Music, on Teflon Don, the second one, I think.
That's what?
What?
Yeah.
He's on a classic album, like.
Yeah, that's the one
That's
with Erica on it.
Dabble though.
Yeah.
I do a little something.
I do a little something.
Yeah.
I'm just on one of the hardest Ross albums ever.
Yeah, I got a plaque. Yeah, them royalties come, every 3-6 months,
Yo, nuts. Like, cause I remember when he told us that junk, and I was like, Nick, are you for real? Like,
That's wild.
yo, crazy. Shout out to Mr. Brooks. But yeah, it was just like let's just see what we can come up with, and by the time we were making something, I can't remember who it was that was just like, you should just put out a project, and I was just like, alright, but let's do it.
Bro, I swear you was doing shows for like 2 months, not 2 months, 2 years straight off that one particular project. Like bookings.
Like 2017 and 18. Really? 19 too, slick. Like, yeah, cause I dropped that. Yeah, I dropped it in 2017. I believe.
That was a crazy time. That was a real crazy time.
Yeah.
Like,
that's crazy. 3 years off of one.
Off one project that got
nuts.
like 4 songs on it.
That's nuts.
That's, look, pop your shit,
Who
pop your shit. Look, one thing that I wanted to touch on too, like, cause I remember, when your very first solo single dropped. Like when senior year dropped, and we all went to Circa.
Yes.
For your little, for not little, but for
wow.
Like,
that was such a great night.
Yeah, it was a good night. Like, what was the process, and where were you at mentally when senior year dropped?
I was just happy I was blown away, honestly, by this little song that I had written on guitar, with these little weird chords I had come up with, because I really don't play like that. I'm more so by ear, when it comes to that. When it comes to that instrument. This little song turned into something that people to this day hit me up about.
That's still
Like,
one of my favorite records.
you know, and it just to sit back and listen to what it became. You know, I remember my freshman Sierra, she listened to me play that song. Like, I was sitting on my bed and she was just like, Bree, this song, I mean, it's, and I never played it for anyone.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, so to from that moment to the moment at Circa, you know, where it's kind of come to fruition, and you know, to have people that I love around me, people that I don't even know, you know, tell me, yo, this, I feel this, like, this made me tap into so many of my own emotions.
Emotion-based music.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that, I mean, that was it. That was the moment. That was a really great moment for me. And then that night, I met the nigga that Daddy's about.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
That's crazy. Like,
Nuts.
bruh, we gonna talk about Daddy, but do you remember the crowd reaction when you performed senior year? She did it a cappella and everything at the CSU talent show.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
It was just with, it was, Wayne was playing piano.
Bruh, when I tell you the crowd
Went
reaction
nuts?
was nuts.
Went nuts?
And they cheated her.
Oh man,
They cheated her.
They gave to some bozo.
Bro, they gave it to
Yo,
some
and that was the
bozo.
second year in a row because Create performed the year before that. We performed Hotline Bling, and the crowd was nuts.
Right.
Nuts. We lost to the magician.
That nigga lost the magician.
Bro put his rabbit out of his hat.
Bro, that nigga was fucking with them cards.
Yo, shout out to
Fuck-
Cecil, man. He
fuck
was
y'all
fine.
up.
He was fine, but damn, really?
That nigga's cat, bro. They gave it to the magician.
That's all on the yard there, man.
Man, when she performed senior year, bro, it seemed like everybody, people that didn't even know her, was like, "Go, Bree, go!"
Yo.
I'm talking, sing that, like, right, bro.
It was crazy.
I'm talking
I was
about
just like,
just her and
wow.
Wayne. The whole, it's a packed place. Like
Right.
the venue is packed. Man, she went up there and did her thing and got cheated. But talk to us about Daddy. Cause I think that's probably your biggest record. Like when you go to venues and stuff, like people wherever
That's
you
what they
want to
wanna
go.
hear. That's what they want to hear. If they've heard it, that's what they want to hear.
Like they want to hear she performing that record 2-3 times in a row.
Yeah, at least like I have definitely performed it twice in one night, more than once.
Off your shit.
Daddy is wow, I cut my finger. Daddy, like I said, I met Buddy that night at the Hooch.
Mm-hmm.
It's about this older guy, you know, that I met. Had a little Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know, it was cool. You know, no stress.
Mm-hmm.
No stress until he started to stress me. And that was it.
And you went and made a song.
I did.
You went and made a hit.
I did.
Now, that song's actually 2 versions.
Yes, there are 2 versions. The first version is produced by a guy named Yondo. Honestly, I was surfing YouTube for type beats, you know, just practicing writing and stuff like that. And I came across that beat and I was like, ooh, this is nice. And so I wrote that. Then I went in the studio with Mike Grizzly and he put a little sauce on it. And so did Joey. So the first version is that, I think that's everyone's favorite version.
Yeah.
Then there's another one produced by B. Sterling. He went and he added some nice, that sample in the beginning. I like it. And he just kind of put his own spin on it. I just saw him last weekend. We're going to
He from here?
remaster it. I want to say, don't get me the line, B. Sterling. Okay. So I ain't going to answer that question.
Which one is your favorite version?
have a favorite. You know,
Yeah.
they both are special, you know, to me, and I appreciate everyone that put work into both.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you make your music, it seems like you have this knack for creating anthems for women. Like,
Really?
yeah, like when you hear your music, it sounds like every woman can relate to this story on some level.
Some level.
You say
Right.
really like, bro, you done played me some shit that, man, I be so upset because it don't never see the light of day. Like, I'm about to leak this shit, fuck it. For my own
What you
market,
talking about?
for my own marketing on it. Bruh, bruh, she done played me some shit that is nuts. Like, I cannot wait till
I can believe it.
the next project.
Yeah,
Like,
we can play some stuff after this.
is one thing that's personal. Like, what does Moline mean to you?
Ooh. Ooh. Well, first, because I didn't answer your question.
Okay.
I said really, you know, because I haven't I don't think I've gone into writing anything with the intent of it being a woman's anthem
Right.
or a women's anthem. However, I do write from that perspective, and I intentionally try to make it, or I try to express myself in ways that people can really understand.
Right.
And you know, and I think that's something that I definitely did with this newer stuff. Like, there's a one song that's very intimate, you know, to me. And I was speaking with a young lady about it, some of the lyrics, and she was just like, girl, I thought I was the only one.
Right.
And those are the moments that I want people to have. Like,
Right.
when people are listening, I want people to be like, oh yeah. And especially women, you know, I want them to hear me and feel me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I want the guys to be able to hear me and feel me too. So maybe
Right.
that helps them feel some women in their life.
It's the same. I mean, yeah, it goes for the men too, because it's feel good music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when you hear it, it's reminiscent of some of those oldies that you mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it makes you feel good. So for the men too, it's enjoyable music.
Yes, for sure. And I'm glad, like, the numbers show that most of my listeners are men.
Look at
Yeah,
that. Men's up here with that pull-up blasting.
I'm trying to tell you.
like I, honestly, like
Gangsters.
2/3.
Right. That's
2/3.
wild.
And yeah, it's every time I see it, it don't change. Like the women, the number of women like will increase. You know,
Mhm.
it has,
Yeah.
but it's still majority.
So you know your audience.
I think I've been much more tapped into that lately.
Do you think that's what does that mean to you? Like, what if you was talking to a younger artist and they was like still finding themselves and still
Yeah.
finding their sound? Like,
Yeah.
what gain on a target market and knowing your market, like, that you can give to them?
What I would say is crazy. I was just having this conversation with BD earlier.
Shout out to BD. Shout out to the Moline Clothing.
For sure.
Go get that.
As much as you're not going to like being tapped in to your numbers, because it almost defies everything it means to be a creative. Because most of the time,
Free gym.
you're creating for yourself. You're creating to express. You are creating to heal. You know what I'm saying? You're not, because it's an innate thing.
Right.
So it's not for someone else. But when you begin to put your creations into the universe for, you know, critique and not just critique, but just you're putting it out there for people to receive or reject.
Right.
You have to succumb to certain things. So you got to get out of your way, because if you try to be like, well, fuck that, I'm not gonna, people are gonna miss you rather.
Has that ever happened to you?
Like, I feel like my audience, and I've watched my numbers increase as far as views and comments, interaction, especially on Instagram. I've watched that change as I've put effort into monitoring it and, nurturing it. Damn, my thought process kind of went away. But when you aren't paying attention to that, people are going to miss you because you're not putting yourself in front of your demographic. You can't do it if you don't know what it is.
That's a bar.
Alright.
That's a
so
gem.
it's gonna people are gonna miss you, and at the end of the day, you cannot give a damn about numbers, but you have to, because this is a numbers game.
Right. So how hard is that to balance that? Because you like, I'm a creative, so I want to create what I want to create. And sometimes I know it's probably easy to be like, damn the analytics. But at the same time, you know how important it is if you want to have some level of success. Exactly. It depends on what you define success as.
Yeah, it definitely does. It was challenging at first to kind of shift into that.
Right.
But it's like once you get into the groove of it, once you find what you like doing, what you like giving away, like I started recording when I'm just, doing these little quick covers. Like I might remix a joint and do a little hook. And I use that to like work on my intonation and just work on my fluidity with my voice and strengthen it and whatnot. And I started recording that. So now that's something that, and putting it out there, so now that's something that I see people like. And that's something that I enjoy giving away. So finding those things that you enjoy giving away makes it easier, and just staying on top of it. Because do I want to post every day? I ain't never been to post every day. Like I maybe once or twice a month, maybe, and twice a month.
That's still like pushing it.
Right.
Yeah, like on my story, sure, but like to the timeline.
Right.
So yeah, just find those things that you don't mind giving away and that are fun for you and serve you.
Right.
Don't just be doing stuff.
Now, one thing that I've noticed, we've been close for a long time now, but one thing that I've noticed too is your image. Like you're pretty swaggy. You sauced up on the walk up.
Oh man.
So do you feel like there's a need to like take a picture and post it on the gram? Not necessarily for yourself, but let me get my image together for y'all.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, I would say yes and no, because I find myself posting more about the music and stuff than I do like myself.
Right.
However, you can go on there and see, at least 3 good that you just see me. That's it, because people want to see that as well. People want so much. And they want to see you expressed in so different way, in many different ways. So do I feel pressure to do it? No. I feel like I do it when I want to. So yeah, I don't feel pressure to show myself in that light, but I definitely do feel that showing myself in the more creative space, especially trying to enter into this industry and whatnot.
Yeah, because you starting to really like post like the process of the music, your covers. What when you was with Create and y'all was performing, doing shows, what was some of your favorite covers, and what's some of your favorite covers that you like to do now as a solo artist?
Ooh. Ain't Nobody is always gonna be one of my favorites. Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
Footsteps in the Dark. Isley Brothers. What's another one that I enjoy?
She out here grown and sexy.
Would you do a cover album?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm actually, thinking about doing a little project of, my remixed
Right.
Jacking for beats. R&B. Jacquees, we coming for you. We coming for you.
No word,
But
but like just
man.
changing the music too.
The remix.
Exactly.
That's it. The remixes are MIXES. So those two definitely. What else? Oh, there's one that Chris does. I think it's called The Water. It might be Something in the Water by Corey Henry. That song is nuts. Y'all listen to Corey Henry?
Never heard.
I'm not familiar.
Corey
familiar.
Henry and the Funk Apostles, I believe.
Yeah.
And Corey, he's one of those
Tap in.
people. You ever seen like a little tiny child do something nuts?
Yeah.
Like they've been doing it for 50 years?
Mhm.
Him.
Gotcha.
There's like this old video of him. I want to say he was like 9 or something.
And who is this?
Corey Henry.
Corey Henry.
Just
Corey.
dusting people on the organ. I mean, the
Who's that
whole
on the organ.
You know what I mean to play the organ.
That man nice on the
Man.
organ.
Man, cause many can play the keys,
Mhm.
but that don't mean they can play the organ.
Right.
That's a common misconception. Yeah.
What have you ever been on a label, and what's your thoughts on labels?
No, never been on a label. My thoughts on labels.
Do you see yourself on one?
The deal's gotta be right.
Right.
Well, you see so many be out here, man, I'm fighting for my masters. They won't let me drop music.
Yo,
That
I'm
just make
just
you scared of
like,
stuff like that.
exactly.
Right.
It's frightening because I'm like, I don't ever want to have to fight to own some shit that's mine.
But that used to be the dream, though.
Bro,
When I
get
get on this label,
I'm about to
get
get
a
on
song on the radio,
Yeah.
and then
We
I
on.
want to get on this. You want to get on this label.
Because there are advantages, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, Joe Budden said this, and I'm paraphrasing, but everybody's not in the position to just,
say no to like 20
Yeah.
racks.
Right.
yeah, right.
Say no to
Everybody's
advance.
not in a position to say no to any and everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And labels can provide advantages for people, in many different, in different situations. You know what I'm saying?
They
so
be
I'm
using that
not
shit for
saying
leverage.
And they know that.
exactly, because there are things that labels will charge you like thousands of dollars for that you can do for thousands of dollars less than
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, why let you charge me more than I can charge myself?
Yep.
Right.
And I can get myself, I've seen plenty of indie artists, I feel like, get themselves to a point where then they can market themselves. It's just like you have a great high school career,
Mhm.
so then the schools come knocking on your door,
Right.
and you can take your pick. So that's kind of, if I consider a label situation, I would like to push myself as far as I can go. And if I surpass, my vision,
Mhm.
and I get to a point where I can say, I don't need a label at all, I will not sign no papers.
Right.
That's real shit, man.
No papers.
That's real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, a manager should be able to do something that you cannot do.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
You out here booking
You provided me services that I can do for myself.
you out here. It's like you out here
And I'm better
booking-
equipped than you.
Right.
No.
You out here getting booked. They booking you for free shit, and you out here booking stuff for yourself for
pay.
for pay.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that you've dealt with a couple of management deals. How were that? Because it's people out here that's on our level,
Mhm.
that's musicians that feel like I just need a team, or I just need a good manager to push me forward. And you know, some people can paint that picture as if they are that, but you doing all the work.
Honestly, if I did have someone, it would be for marketing. I feel like that's more beneficial to an independent artist than a manager. Because if someone, and this is just kind of like a side tidbit, I think that marketing it can be very time consuming. And marketing is unless you just like to do that, it can be the most tedious part of being an artist, you know, because that goes with the posting and figuring out, you know, what content. If all I had to do was focus on creating the content, and I could just put all the files and the pictures or whatever on somebody's hard drive and let them do whatever, or put it on their phone and let them post it and figure out the algorithm and how to do it, that would be more beneficial to me, because that's the part I don't really like doing. I don't really care to pay attention to. But the other side of as far as the management side, I think in my situation, my previous situation, I just don't think we were just like the perfect fit, you know, for each other. I think we just had some differences in the ways that we, you know, wanted to go about things, and kind of like the vision. It didn't totally align. Great dude, and we still have a good relationship today. But I just don't think that it just wasn't there.
The business wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't there. And I've seen both of us grow since we've separated. You know, and that's all you can hope for.
What was some of the upsides though, like that you caught from yourself, like you know, I peeped that. I'm gonna use this for my repertoire.
I want to say definitely put me on game as far as like playlist placements. As far as like the little, because what I will say, he was really good with like social media posts, you know, the little things that'll catch your eye, like having the graphics where you got the post and you see it's like an iPhone and it looks like it's Apple Music and there's, you know, your single or whatever. He was really good at like finding those little things. And that's something that I definitely tucked away, you know, from our relationship. And also, one thing I can say about Q is he is not afraid to talk to anybody. And I feel like I've always been, I'm not shy, but I'm not easy to approach people. And I've heard that can sometimes make me seem unapproachable, but I'm not. I'm just very observant and kind of stand like backgroundy, you know. But he is not like that at all. Not afraid to start a conversation with somebody. Not afraid to approach someone that, you know, he wants to talk to. And I feel like if you got a manager, they need to be like that. Like your manager don't need to be afraid to talk to anybody. And that's something that, you know, I appreciate it. Definitely.
What's y'all's thoughts in general, you too, Will, in artist development? Like, cause right now it's like, you know, it's not there no more. Like, you're very well spoken. You know what I'm saying? People that surround us are very well spoken.
That's even where a label will come in handy.
You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to like interviews and stuff like that, conversation. Some people just think it's just making music when it's not that at all. Like, so what's y'all thoughts on artist development?
It's very important, and if you know you're not good at interviews, talking to people, communicating, period, you should probably invest in some kind of class. Just being honest, because I can only speak for myself. I'm not good with public speaking. You know what I mean? I can do it if I absolutely have to. Don't enjoy it though. You know what I mean? So in college, I've taken courses like that to try to get better. Still need some more. You know what I mean? But that's just me self-realization though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing the things that I need. Artist development is important. You know what I mean? Because it's not just about the creative process making the music. There are steps after that. And if you don't have that training, that media training, it's only going to come back and bite you in the long run.
Shit, even just being on time.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People don't treat this as like it's a, bro, this is your career. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your job. You wouldn't show up to Jimbo,
Right.
you know, that you was working for down the street. If you was supposed to be here at 8, you wouldn't show up at no 9. You know what I'm saying? So like, just with, you know, that's a part of being, you know, artist development as well. Like, but
Niggas so used to showing up to shit late. And I feel like that's because I'm not going to say in other genres and back in the days people didn't show up late. However, there is a, I think, type of sound and stuff that has dominated at least for the last decade. A type of sound, a type of look, a type of persona has dominated the last 10 years. And in that persona is, because a lot of that music is played in your, you know, clubs and whatnot. And first of all, if you get to the club before 12, I mean, it ain't popping yet.
it ain't popping.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's almost like a culture thing.
It's like this cultural, fashionably late shit that has turned from fashionably to disrespectful, especially in the professional sense. If you have an interview at, you know, Good Morning America, or if you're performing on the Tonight Show,
you ain't showing up late.
listen, because if you do, I'm willing to bet that they taking some out that bag.
Shit, or they talking about you.
They talking about you, and they won't have you back because they'll give you your whole bag, but they won't have you back. And then they'll have a conversation. Jimmy Kimmel gonna have a conversation with
Jimmy
Harry,
Right. And like,
with
don't have
Conan. You know, he gonna have a conversation with Conan and be like, this nigga was 2 hours late. And Conan's gonna be like, well shit, I'm not having this nigga on my
I'm about to go book Taylor Swift.
Yo,
I'm gonna go book a deal right now.
right now, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm not saying, that's not a blanket statement about every artist that is performing or a blanket statement about every artist in that genre.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have no doubt that the Migos are very professional.
I'm sure.
Because I feel like they are always doing something like that. You know, they are always people of all different types of walks of life, genres or whatever, like different shows and stuff, have them on there.
But
they probably have a good reputation. It's not just when they popping or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely seen the Migos perform when they even got shit out.
Right. They gonna perform something old.
Yeah. I've seen them perform when they ain't got
that
shit
comes
out.
from artist development. Like, I'm sure P and Coach K back in the day was not.
No.
Like, they weren't playing that shit. They was not playing the radio.
Because you
That's their
watch
money.
them grow.
That's their investment.
You watch them grow. Like, Offset is a great interviewee to watch. I've watched his Hot Ones, his Breakfast Club, and there's another interview he did. Speaks well.
Very well spoken.
You know, answers the questions. You know what I'm saying? So I can see, and then he says interesting things. You know, it's not just like simple, you know, answers. Like, all right, next question. Okay, well, I guess we ain't got nothing else for you, bro. Like,
Savage is another one though.
Mm.
Like, I was watching the Big Facts, his new interview that just dropped. You know, he can, you know, like he brought a good I guess point of view up about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the whole persona, the image.
Yeah.
He was like, people need to start looking at artists like how they look at Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Denzel Washington was a bunch of people that he acted like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the end of the day, he is not the nigga from Training Day.
Right.
He is not the nigga from Flight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He is Denzel Washington. That was a role, a persona. That's what people in the music industry or fans need to look at stuff like that. Like, he was like, I'm 21, I'm 21.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a persona. I'm not doing none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, at least.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, that makes perfect sense, man. Like, you it's a time and a place where you gotta you gotta turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, because a good thing to think about, but then it makes me think, how do you teach people to turn it on and turn it off when the reason why they're in the room is because of something they turned on? That make like it? How can you? It's because when you spend so much time living in that facade and in that persona, the lines become blurred and murky.
That's true.
Right.
And like I said, not a blanket statement for everybody,
Right.
but I do see how that's how a lot of motherfuckers out here getting hurt
Yeah.
and ending up in slippery situations because you spend so much time being something in the studio. You spend so much time being something in the video.
That's when it comes about, like,
Where the Ruben stutter? Yo, who was that, Gumbo? Was it Tech?
Oh yeah, yes, Tech.
Yo.
Baton Rouge, I think. Yeah.
He went on a whole rant about the persona.
oh,
Yeah, that ain't you.
yeah.
That ain't you. And so those lines become
Ruben
blurred.
Studies.
Right.
Where are they?
I mean, that's true though,
Yeah.
because like that's why it's so important. If you gonna build a persona, make sure that persona is you.
Yeah.
Prime example, we was just talking to Big Reds. We just had him on the last episode, and we had the same conversation. And when you see Big Reds, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not him being larger than life. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you can tell, cause that shit start taking tolls on people. You mean to tell me I gotta smoke weed all the time?
Yo.
Right.
Like, you mean to tell me I gotta keep a lean cup on me?
All these young people dying because they're trying to keep up with something that they started.
Man, I gotta
Something
keep a
that's not
strap on
them.
me. No, like, that's not psychologically normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's normal to them because that's how they, to the ones that's how they was brought up. Then cool, you know what I'm saying? But to the ones that's getting into it, and then they start having to carry guns. They out here. You ain't never seen this nigga in the hood with a red or black, blue, yellow flag ever.
Yeah, like I said, for some of it's not
But
even
now-
normal. It's just following the formula. I've seen this work. I've
The
seen this blow.
formula. The
Right.
formula.
Just keep it simple, bro. Just be you.
Yeah.
It's priceless to be you.
Listen, because
And that's
you will
a gem.
never come by another one.
Ever.
You'll never come by another one. And you can tell that that so many people don't know that, or they don't think that about themselves.
Right.
Because there's so much energy put into being a certain thing.
Social media.
Mm-hmm.
Social media before that it was like magazines,
Right.
the videos.
Yep.
But that shit turned into,
Ads.
bro,
Ads. Yo, have y'all ever watched Mad Men?
no.
And I had already been hip to this, But watching Mad Men,
That's the
really,
show. Like it's back in like set in like the old
50s.
like 50s.
Yeah,
and it's showing.
it starts in the 50s, and it goes down through. I think it ends during Nixon's presidency. I want to say so, like the early 70s. And but the show is there, and they're in this ad agency. Like it's based around these guys, these execs, these guys that work in the ad agency. And then there is a woman who is there. She starts off as a secretary, and she ends up becoming a madman, an ad person. But they really tap into how this has always been about keeping people feeling like they need to improve on something in themselves or on themselves. All this stuff all the stuff that we see now as far as what's pushed down our throats on social media and the internet. There's always an ad for something to new clothes, new shoes, more jewelry. Oh, you need to smell better. You just need to look better. You need to be better. You need to lose weight. You need to do this and spend your money. And you're gonna keep spending your money because you're never gonna be good enough.
Never satisfied.
Never. You're never going to be satisfied with how you look. You're never going to be satisfied with what you wear. Never going to be satisfied with what you have.
Bro, they're leveraging insecurity.
Yeah, it's age old. They've been doing it since before newspapers.
Bro,
They've been doing it.
Insecurity.
Really, newspapers, because before newspapers, they were like pamphlets.
Yeah.
Leveraging, and it was really like, and they started out, I feel like, with the church. These religious pamphlets basically condemning all your sin.
That's true.
Making you come into the church.
Makes sense.
And making you, convert, making you give your money and pay your tithe. You know what I'm saying? It started there, and now here we are.
Bro, you know who's the best, like, the best group of people that do that type shit? They're like, hey, I got your bitch. Or, I'm fresher than you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got more jewelry. A lot of y'all niggas ain't, really, y'all not popping no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Us. And what white folks doing? Signing us.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they sign us, we doing all that little silly shit.
Right.
All that little silly shit that they want us to do.
And they won't sign you if you ain't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you not popping your shit, bro, it's gonna be a whole lot. You might as well go independent, bro.
You might as well.
You might as well go independent.
That's how it is on the
subscribe to our
TV show.
game.
Look, TV shows too. Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
All that. And reality shows, if you're not doing the most, you're not doing enough. We can't use you.
Boy, that's a cold game. It's a cold game.
Yes, it is.
And it's out here pimping us, boy.
Man, but we ain't gotta be pimped.
Not at all, man. Not at all. That's why, like, I'm loving, like, it's more and more people doing their own things. More and more people, like, that's what the pandemic really showed. You know what I'm saying? The pandemic really showed that one, we don't have to depend on jobs.
Right.
Two,
Mm-hmm.
if we come together, we can make some shit happen.
Right.
Really rattle the room. This businesses out here flourishing.
Yes.
Because of the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that it had to get to that, and a lot of people lost their lives over it.
Yeah.
But people are sitting back and saying, they wanted it to be normal again, but not even really realizing, like, yo, this is the new normal.
Yeah.
Either get with it, get your shit together, or get your shit together.
Right.
Regardless what president is in the building.
Right.
Because if you're not making sure you and your family is good, and you're waiting on assistance or any of that, because these folks not out here handing out money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta go get it. You gotta be creative.
They ain't handing out money that they don't want back.
Right.
Right.
Because
With
the the government has definitely been handing out money.
But they want that back.
But they want it back. And it's also being disproportionately dispersed.
Almost definitely.
There's no fair access to it. But it is being handed out.
Right.
Definitely.
But you are right. You are most definitely right, because I have my own views about politics and whatnot and everything that's going on, but we don't have to get into that. But what I will say is, I agree, this is a very get your house in order time.
Right.
Like,
Because it's not getting no better in the sense of
the traditional way.
right.
Right.
And it's not going back to anything we knew before. That's the main thing I feel like you were saying. This is the new normal.
Right.
It's not, you don't like doing virtual shows. Well, I do. Book me.
Right.
I want to be in my room singing.
Look, because it was odd at first. The first one I did, it was strange.
Right.
But it was cool at the same time. But I've seen artists be like, yeah, this virtual shit is whack, da da da. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because I'm all for being able to see people and interact with them and talk to them. But shit, here we are.
You know what it
It's
remind
a
me
new
of?
normal.
You know what it remind me of?
Mm.
When the shift was going from CDs to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people mad about that, but there's a lot of people happy about it too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean to tell me I can have 3, 4, 500 people listening to my song simultaneously?
Yeah.
Whenever, I drop the classic. They listening to my shit 3 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
Mm-hmm.
instead of
With easy access to
right,
it.
instead of just purchasing it one time, and I'm not making nothing off of it when you play the record.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I feel like streaming has helped in more of a sense that, yes, accessibility, to music and being able to continue to make money off of it, even though you don't make a whole lot of money off of streams unless you streaming
It's criminal.
tens of millions,
It's criminal.
However,
Right.
because it's a numbers game, because it's an analytics game, that's how the streams really help you.
You gotta know your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we had that
Streams
conversation,
is just
bro?
like more data to
Right.
show, like this is the streams is just more of a way to monitor and track
How can you
what's
pimp your
going
data?
on. Yes.
How can you pimp your data? Like it's a different marketing tool. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you're not marketing you ain't trying to sell shit to Target like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You trying to sell to Jimmy on the corner
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
to go play your shit while you ain't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's like if you want to be real, the distribution companies are just as bad, if
Yeah.
not worse, than
Yeah.
the labels.
Yeah.
Like,
Highway robbery.
man, Buddy from Spotify was doing an interview and said, "Oh, they need to work harder. They want bigger cuts."
Right.
Mm-mm.
How can you say that
When
about
you-
some shit that you not working on?
That you did create.
You are
Like,
pimping
what do you do every day, bro?
bro. Run a batch of coders. That's what he's doing.
Like,
He's
what
making
do
sure
you
shit
do
is
every
coded.
day? And it's like that, and that's the other part of it that is just like, I really would love to see that whole operation just crash and burn, and we have our own shit.
Yeah. Like if there was, Tidal.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yes, Tidal. Yes, Tidal. Also, yes, United Masters.
Most of them. They giving people what they deserve.
When I say that whole Operation Crash and Burn, I mean people who don't look like us, taking advantage of us and pimping us and draining us for everything we got.
That's true, man. We gotta be the ones to, like you said, create the house.
Mm-hmm.
When we're the ones who's creating the house, we're the ones who making shit look cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
If
the
we
ones
weren't setting the trends, there would be none.
that wouldn't.
Absolutely.
That wouldn't. But anything else?
We can keep going forever at this point, honestly. At this point.
I'm enjoying myself.
She been dropping gems all day, man.
Bro. This was really fun, man.
Yeah.
Right.
We appreciate you for coming.
Yeah, this has definitely been my most fun interview.
Oh, well,
Oh, we on a roll.
hey.
You guys
That's
asked
love.
really good questions, you know?
When is the project? What's the name of the project? What's
No name. No name yet.
okay.
I'm thinking first quarter.
Next
Okay.
year? How many tracks?
28.
Bro, the nigga
7.
damn, another
7?
shorty.
I mean, it's 2 more than the first, so.
The show was a good though, man.
Yeah.
The show wasn't easy to digest, so
Yeah,
you know, I
I need
appreciate
to give
I
them
appreciate
one
the
more
short
short one for the people's attention span, and then I'll do a full length.
ones. Okay.
I got a question.
What's up?
As far as distribution, who do you think right now is it? Like, you know, the people that were distributing your music. Like, you know, do you fuck with DistroKid, TuneCore, United Masters?
I have
And
fucked
why?
I have fucked with DistroKid before, just because like I feel like as far as like base level, you know, they take care of everything. They got your, you know, you can have your music on Instagram and stuff for people's story and whatnot. And then they also have like it's easy to set up your Spotify for Artists profile there, and they just have like small little, I don't think it's called widgets, but they just have little shortcuts, you know, to doing certain things that I feel like make it a little easier in their layout.
It's user friendly.
Yes, that's it. It is
Keeping
very
it simple.
Keeping it simple is user friendly. I don't really have any complaints. With United Masters, I think though is the best because one, they don't let everybody in.
Shout out to Steve Stout.
They don't let everybody in, and which I feel like cuts down on, you know, the riffraff. And also it gives you the opportunity to be on like NBA commercials or
Placements.
play in the placement opportunities.
It's through the roof, really.
Yes.
Through the roof.
And I really haven't seen it on any other platform.
Nobody else doing it like that.
They out here trying to give people money.
Yeah, like I have never seen it, and it is worth any money to me. It is worth the money that they ask for, because you're getting, I feel like, that back and more.
Right.
So the next single in the project will be released.
Through United Masters.
Yeah,
That's hard.
yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Who is your top 5? We're gonna end it with this one.
Oh, and what? Just
We gonna do hip hop and music and R&B.
oh, okay. Damn, you put me on the spot here. Okay, R&B. Top 5. Tweet.
Is that number 1 or is it no
Yes.
order?
That's number 1. Period.
Okay.
That's number 1. The rest, any order.
Okay.
And really, ooh. Damn. Okay, Tweet. And this is like, I'll say neo soul and R&B.
It don't matter. Just
Okay, boom. But that kind of, that realm.
Right.
Tweet, D'Angelo. Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Shaka Khan.
Okay.
One more.
Damn.
Cause there's some heat out there, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
There's some heat out there, like.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like, I see, if we talk about current, I feel like that's that's another, list. However, if I had to give my fifth spot, it would be Ari.
I knew it.
Yeah. I gotta throw my girl in
That's
there.
big for her.
I really do.
Bro.
That's some
gotta-
that's some great company.
Yeah.
But she deserves it though.
Yeah,
She
I mean,
deserves it.
she.
Shea
I
Butter
can't
Baby
wait
a
to
classic.
see-
Bro,
But what?
Start to finish. Start to finish.
I just don't understand why this girl don't have Grammys for that.
Bro,
It was too black.
yeah.
It was too black.
Like, what? What?
It was too black. It's
I
only
had
so
the
much.
most-
It's only so much black they can
was-
get.
Soulful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because they gave
not
it,
one
even the Soul
Grammy.
Train Awards. Remember, she said she didn't care about
Yes.
Grammys.
She like
But
She
the
wanted
Soul
that
Train.
Soul Train Award.
And I think they gave it to
To
Summer Walker. No, Lizzo too.
I was like, what the fuck? She didn't even
Politics.
got a BET
Disrespectful.
award.
Disrespectful, bro.
Politics, bro.
I'm like, what the
Disrespectful.
fuck?
Politics.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah, everybody
bro.
just love her so much. I'd be like, fuck all y'all niggas. Nah,
the
for
same
real,
niggas on
because
the
she
panels.
was cheated. Yeah.
But
She was cheated.
and she's the one who's dropping them bombs.
Bangers.
I'm talking about bangers,
Bangers.
back to back,
Bungles.
back to back.
Literally.
Rappers.
Rappers. Ooh. You know what? It's somebody I've been Pop Smoke. Is
Top-
that
Hey,
current?
yo, all time?
Oh, is this what we doing?
Yeah.
All time.
All
I thought
time.
we was just doing, like.
I mean, if you want to do current,
Hey.
cool, but we doing all the time.
Okay, all time.
Hey, Possible been in the all time. That's a first.
I'm sorry, but no.
You know, I'm not
I thought we
gonna
was.
judge you.
Hey,
no,
no,
hey, don't do
absolutely
that shit, nigga. Don't do that shit, nigga. I thought we was doing, cause you prefaced it with, it's some heat out here, now. I thought we was
You
doing.
did lace it
Bro,
with that.
Yeah,
see, in
thought
my
we was
head, I ain't
doing-
gonna lie. I thought you was gonna say Jill.
Because if we was,
I'm surprised I didn't hear Jill.
I thought she was gonna say Jill.
Right.
But she, she threw Ari the alley oop, and nothing is wrong with that.
yeah, because I mean, you know what? I was finna tell a lie, and I wasn't gonna do that. Honestly, I'ma stick with what I have in my top 5. But you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give Jill that this
5
spot
and
and
put
give Ari
The bench.
yep. That's my 6
Six man.
That's my 6 man. Because I remember I auditioned for this all girl group some years ago, like when I was in high school. And
Is this a first? Have you ever said this in an interview before?
no.
Hey, back to back with it.
Back to back.
Back with the exclusives.
But yeah, I auditioned and I sang this song, this deep cut from a Jill Scott album that I know these niggas didn't know. And when I got done, the energy in the room was just like, what? Like, what is this? What do we do with this? And from that moment, I knew these niggas couldn't take me.
Nigga, do you remember?
They couldn't take me.
Do you remember? I booked you a show at to do covers at the Suite,
Yes.
and you killed that shit, and she did. I want to say The Way.
It was either that or A Long Walk.
It was one of those Jill Scott records, but it was that was like the ending, like the grand finale, and she destroyed it, set the whole place aflames.
Yeah. We need A Long Walk covered by you on all streaming platforms.
We gonna have to change the music, the melody.
Hey, for real, all that, because ain't no way she gonna. Bruh, you get that cleared.
Toss that guy on YouTube.
What?
We need that.
Listen, yo, I'ma just start covering shit and sending it to they people. Like, can I get this cleared? Can I get this cleared? Can I get it? Somebody gotta say
Somebody
yes.
gonna say yeah,
Somebody gonna say yeah. Somebody be
Somebody
like,
gonna
hey.
say yeah. Eventually,
but rappers.
rappers. Imani from the Far Side.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn, I feel like I had 2. Missy Elliott.
Okay. Another one of them women anthems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nuts. Jigga Man.
I was about to say no ho.
Hey, if Hov would have escaped at the top 5.
Yo, y'all would
Pop
have
Smoke.
Look, we're not
Yo.
putting the interview out.
Yo.
This was a great time.
Cut that fucking part because y'all really EJ tried to play me. Big Boy.
Okay.
Hey, I'm fucking with this list.
Yeah, me too. You vote Big Boy over 3 Stacks?
Yeah. I can't lie. I can't lie. And because 3 Stacks is an alien.
Yeah.
Okay? The nigga's an alien. But
Niggas be sleep on Big Boy.
No, that's true though.
who do I know more verses by?
Big Boy.
Definitely Big Boy. Aquemini is probably one of my favorite albums ever.
Same.
And Big Boy 8.
The
Big Boy
entire
The whole
Big
album.
Boy 8.
The whole album. That is true.
Period.
And that's
That
no
is
knock
true.
to Andre.
No.
But Big Boy
No,
8.
because Andre is he's far out, yo. Like that nigga's on another wavelength.
Yeah.
But Big Boy, yeah.
Man, this is a nice list. I'm
Okay,
happy.
who did I say?
You said Imani from Farside, Missy
Missy.
Elliott.
Big
Big
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, and Pop Smoke.
You said Hov.
Oh, and Hov. That's on 5 right there. That's on 5.
R.I.P. to Pop Smoke.
Yes, R.I.P. man,
Yes,
because
sir.
that album is hard. And honestly, shout out to fucking 50 Cent because he curated a good album.
Yes, he
He
did.
He did.
Yes,
Give
he
him his
did.
props on that.
Yo,
Yes, he did.
50 was definitely in my top 5 at one point.
50s. Get rid
He
of
was.
Ian was in my
He
top.
was.
Not mad at that.
He was definitely.
For that little run, not mad at that.
Yo, you know, I was young.
Let's
when
not
he was
say
going
little.
in though.
Oh yeah.
Let's not say little, because the man got a movie and a video game
Yo.
off his debut album.
Nuts.
Like,
Who done it?
nobody. The
Exactly.
man caught a vitamin water endorsement and a Reebok endorsement. Guess who put that together? Steve Stout.
Woo.
So
Woo.
shout out
United Masters.
Shout out to United Masters
Woo.
and Steve Stout once again. We're gonna have, listen, I'm saying this right now. We're gonna have him on the show.
You know what I'm saying?
Steve
Period.
Stout is going to be on this show.
Might
It's
not be in
happening.
this apartment.
Definitely, probably not. But
It's happening.
he's going to be on this show.
Absolutely.
Who's your 5th one?
My fifth rapper nigga. Or woman. See, y'all niggas be having your top 5 ready to go at any moment because y'all.
That's
be-
not
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely
not the truth.
not.
Really.
That's
Is
not
it?
the truth.
Is it not true?
Absolutely not. Change every time
That
somebody
last spot.
Once every 5 years.
That last
point
spot.
the 5th spot, get a little murky
Get a
every
little
time.
murky every time.
That's why I'm like, do I wanna
Is
get
Lauryn Hill
to
top
Pop
10 to you?
Smoke? Oh, fuck yes. Honestly.
Over Cardi B?
Over Pop Smoke.
Over Pop Smoke?
Whoa. The blasphemy.
I'm fucking
Oh,
with you, but Cardi
hell
B is nice
yeah.
though.
See, I realized I fell in love with Lauryn Hill as an MC, definitely on the score.
The score.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, she's really shitting on these things.
I was like, wow, she's really killing these things.
No,
She's really bodying these
Like,
niggas.
she's
and she
really,
write all her own stuff,
Right. Body and Wycliffe.
bro.
yo,
You mean to tell me she's rapping and singing like
On the same song.
on a different level?
I'm just like, it's like I don't want to cop out and say Lauren is my 5th person, but like, yeah,
You know what's crazy about Lauren, bro?
yeah,
People put her at the top 5 respectively,
yeah,
and she only has one solo project.
Because it was great.
yo,
Like
Great.
that was
That
a
shit was
stamp.
dumb.
That was a step in time.
No.
Correct.
You know how much classic shit came out in '98. You know how much classic shit came out in '98,
That album hard.
and people still to this day. That's timeless music. That's emotion-based music, bro.
You
People
put that on right now,
and people are still going
gonna
to
slide.
bro. Gonna have that same reaction
Yeah.
every trip.
I feel
That's
like, yeah. Can we have a to be continued on my top 5? I feel like I have a top 4. I don't have top 5.
That's cool.
Hey.
So let's get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
Imani from Farside,
Mm-hmm.
Missy,
Mm-hmm.
Hove,
Mm-hmm.
Pop Smoke.
Big boy, nigga.
Big boy.
Pop Smoke. Yeah.
People gonna
That's
be
my
mad.
top
People
4.
gonna be like,
People
"What's over
be- Yeah.
Yo.
He's dead. You don't talk about the dead."
All kind of comments in it. We gonna have to shut the comments off.
Right, for real.
Yeah.
But
R.I.P.
it's
to
all
Pop,
good
man.
though, man. R.I.P. to Pop. He had a great album.
Yes.
Great album.
Wonderful
Great
album. And the one before that.
His whole catalog for real.
Honestly.
is
Really nice.
pretty decent.
It is
It's
solid.
pretty decent. It's
So
solid.
much promise in that young
Man, that man was about to go on a hook run. Do you hear me?
What?
Absolutely.
He was about
What?
to go on a
Absolutely.
You know what happens when niggas get
You want
hooks.
50 on your hook? Get Pop Smoke.
Right. I can't afford 50 right now. 50's busy doing
Yo.
power and shit. Let's go
Yo.
get Pop Smoke. Like he would have went on a hook run. He would have had a collab album with Quavo.
Period.
Right.
Because the tracks between the two of them,
Is nuts, bro.
Crazy.
Nuts.
like, you could tell they was really in the lab together.
Bro, they had chemistry, bro.
Yeah.
Chemistry. Him and Quavo and him and Travis Scott. Cause that was the very first like pop. That's when I really tapped into Pop Smoke. Was on
With the
the
Travis.
yeah Gotti.
Mhm.
But wifey was the reason why I fucked with Pop Smoke. I was running that Cactus Jack, and I was like, she said, "What the fuck is this?"
She wanna run with the ooh.
Yeah.
Bruh, all that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
shit go.
Yeah.
Oh,
I enjoyed this, guys.
Hey man, we gotta get you back on here.
Right.
Yes.
Especially since you
is-
gotta continue your part 5.
Yeah.
Your slot 5 for your top
Yes.
top 5.
This was by far the longest conversation,
Episode, right.
longest episode.
Very nice.
You know, this was a classic moment, and I really appreciate you
Right.
giving us this.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
Well, that
This was
concludes
nice.
Yes, sir.
Free Gems.
Free Gems Podcast, episode 3.